Summerslam is this week. It's also Cody Rhodes week because WWE just dropped that new documentary. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I haven't seen it yet, but we're here to talk about SummerSlam, what I think should happen and what I think will happen there in Detroit, Rock City, home of cars, apparently. Let's go ahead and dive into it. Just announced this past Friday was the SummerSlam Slim Jim Battle Royal. We know a few of the participants because they were announced on SmackDown and Raw. Guys like LA Knight, and Sheamus. They're going to have a match coming up on SmackDown before SummerSlam. I imagine Sheamus is going to win that, which means LA Knight is going to win the Battle Royal. That's what I think is going to happen. But what should happen is LA Knight, gets eliminated early, but then later on in the Battle Royal, a new character is introduced. His name is Slim Jim. That's right. You do a whole integration with the beef jerky brand. I'm assuming this is an integration with the beef jerky stuff. And this new character, Slim Jim, shows up and he's walking down and he's got the microphone and he says, I see a lot of dummies. No, I see a lot of beef jerkies in the ring, but there's one person. This is one person's game and it's Slim Jim. And then he eliminates everybody, and then he unmasks, and it's revealed to be LA Knight. Slim Jim is LA Knight. That's a terrible idea. I don't really give a shit who wins. I mean, LA Knight should win this thing, but he's probably not, given WWE seemingly doesn't want to push that guy. Let's move on to the next match. We've got Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler. I'm actually looking forward to this match. I know Ronda Rousey could be a bit of a divisive figure in WWE. I do appreciate what she's done for the women's division, trying to elevate the tag titles, and now trying to elevate a wrestler who I think has needed to be elevated for a little while now, her best friend, Shayna Baszler. I expect this match to actually be pretty cool. They're like best friends, so you know they're going to want to put on like a really good match, and I feel like they're going to go down the route of trying to make it look like a real fight, like a real MMA shoot fight type thing with some pro wrestling shit thrown in, maybe like Pancrase. You guys remember was Pancrase real or fake? I still don't know. I know it's sort of a melding of MMA and pro wrestling from what I understand, but I don't know if it's real or not. Anyways, this is obviously predetermined. I get the feeling that Shayna Baszler is going to beat Ronda Rousey. I think that's what's going to happen. It's what should happen, and I feel like Ronda Rousey wants to put over Shayna Baszler on her way out. I get the feeling that they're probably going to just make this Ronda Rousey's final match in the WWE, and at the end of this match, they will probably hug in the middle of the ring, and it'll be a nice emotional moment. I think Shayna Baszler is awesome, and I feel like, especially when pandemic happened, I feel like that's what kicked Shayna Baszler down a couple notches. She started feuding with like Alexa Bliss's puppet, Lily, and that wasn't no good. So I feel like Ronda Rousey should put over Shayna Baszler, should take the loss here. I don't care how, I guess Kurafuna clutch. That's what Shayna Baszler does. And then Ronda Rousey either taps out or she passes out. They're probably going to go for the big dramatic pass out here. So yeah, Shayna should win, and I think Shayna's going to win. Logan Paul versus Ricochet. Logan Paul is going to win this. Should he win this? I mean, I don't know, probably. Like, if it was me booking this, I don't know that he would be around, but I recognize that he does put in good work. He's actually really good promo. It's just everything on the outside I don't really care about. I don't care about that. What should happen? Logan Paul honestly should win this. He's had 2 world title matches so far. He's only beat The Miz, I think. So he probably should rack up a win. I just don't know where he's going to land. Like, they're going to keep on giving him matches, but like, what's next? Like AJ Styles? Is he going to take on AJ Styles? Who wins that match? AJ should. But like Ricochet... Drew McIntyre versus Gunther. Drew McIntyre is probably Gunther's like most prestigious opponent to date. And I think that this, if they want to get Gunther on the road to like a Brock Lesnar level guy who seems to be naturally, would make a good next feud for Gunther perhaps. Drew McIntyre, I guess like the idea is we're still not sure whether or not he's going to re-sign with WWE or not. Not that that stuff really should matter. Personally, when Drew McIntyre came back, I thought it'd be cooler if he came back as a bad guy, and maybe, just maybe, this match can facilitate that. Maybe Drew McIntyre goes for a Claymore and Gunther chops it out of midair, sends him crashing to the ground, gives him a powerbomb and pins him. And then Drew realizes, man, I'm going about this the wrong way. Maybe he doesn't need his own faction, but maybe Drew realizes I need to be a bit more of a villain in order to win matches because he lost his way. Maybe that'll be the situation. No more Mr. Nice Guy for Drew McIntyre, and this is the match that is the catalyst. I don't see Drew McIntyre winning because Gunther is only like, I don't know, 40 days or 50 days out from beating the total record. He's, I think, third longest Intercontinental Champion right now. So I feel like Drew McIntyre needs to lose here, but in terms of what that means for him, it should mean he's going to be a bad guy and face off with, I don't know, good guy Seth Rollins, and then maybe go after the world title, depending on what Judgment Day is doing with the world title, because I think they're coming out of SummerSlam with it. We'll get to that in a second here. Gunther's going to win. Gunther should win. Drew McIntyre should be pretty upset with himself by the end. Next up, Asuka versus Bianca Belair versus Charlotte. This one's pretty easy. This is what I think should happen, and it's what I think is going to happen. Io Sky might very well cash in by the time all is said and done. What I think might happen in this case, in order to protect everybody, Asuka, Bianca, and Charlotte all kind of take each other out of the equation. I don't know what it would be. Maybe Bianca has Asuka up for a KOD. Charlotte spears Bianca, which leads her to actually hit the KOD because of the way that she falls. So Asuka's been hit, Bianca's been hit, and then Charlotte's there. And maybe Charlotte had already been hit with, I don't know, mist or something. So she's still stumbling around. Io Sky shows up. She's able to cash in on like anybody there, I guess Asuka, and then get the pin and the win with the title. So nobody in the match that's scheduled right now wins that, which kind of weirdly protects them all. And then Io Sky walks out as champion. I think it's been a while. Io needs to be champion, and then you can have her and Asuka perhaps feud over that title leading into Survivor Series or Payback or whatever they're going to do, like whatever the next match is going to be. So there, I think I kind of feel like that's going to happen too. I feel like now is the time to strike for Io Sky. You've got this triple threat match. You could easily wait until the match is like deep into it and then cash in there, add yourself to the match, and you get yourself a title. Works perfectly. And then Io and Bayley can probably feud as well. Next up, Seth frickin' Rollins versus Finn Balor. Usually my fantasy booking like doesn't come true. But from a storyline perspective, the best possible story they can tell is Damian Priest distracts Seth Rollins with the threat of a cash-in. Finn Balor takes advantage of that and gets the win over Seth Rollins with the title. He's left wondering, were you going to cash in on my match? And Priest is like, no, I was there to distract Seth Rollins, leading to you getting that win. And then you have an elongated story with Judgment Day, where Damian Priest is waiting for Finn Balor to slip up and lose that title so he can then cash in. But he's going to be waiting for who knows how long because Finn Balor keeps on winning thanks to Judgment Day always interfering. And so Damian Priest will then have to make... So you've got all this tension here, and that only works if Finn Balor has the title. This story doesn't work if Damian Priest just cashes in the briefcase and he's got the title and him and Finn Balor maybe are feuding. Seth Rollins on the outside looking in, which is totally fine. He can do that. But this match, none of this story works if Seth Rollins just comes out of this match. They do a repeat of the last pay-per-view, which they really don't do that often. So I kind of feel like Seth Rollins is going to lose this title thanks to interference from Damian Priest, or at least a distraction from Damian Priest. And then Finn Balor is able to pick up the win, and Finn's like, were you trying to help me, or are you just trying to cash in? What's going on here? And then Priest is like, I'm trying to help you, I guess. I don't know. But he stays close because he wants that title. I think there's a really good story to be told there. So I think Finn Balor wins. I think Damian Priest kind of inadvertently helps him, and then we're able to tell that story. That's what I think should happen because it sounds awesome, and I kind of feel like that's the only thing that can happen. Otherwise, if Judgment Day just ends up like asked out of the title, what are they going to be feuding over? Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. Georgia's own Cody Rhodes. Who knows how long the beast has left in the wrestling business, but this is the match that I think they're going to do like no gimmicks, no like, oh, Cody's got a broken arm or Cody's got like a sneak pin. I feel like Cody's going to hit Brock with like, I don't know, 5 crossroads after eating maybe 2 F5s and being able to kick out. I think this is going to be the real match where Cody Rhodes actually beats Brock Lesnar and he's going to put him over clean. They just released a 2-hour documentary. So of course, Cody Rhodes has to win this. He has to win this. So yes, he wins. He should win. And that's what happens. Now, the big question is, after the match, Brock Lesnar, quantum leaps out, right? He's gone. Do we get Bray Wyatt, man? Does Bray Wyatt show up? Do we get a tease of Bray Wyatt's return? Does Randy Orton come back? Randy Orton would be a pretty cool feud for Cody Rhodes. Problem is, people like Randy Orton. I don't think they'd boo him. Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso in the main event. Tribal Combat. This is for all the enchiladas. This is for not all the enchiladas. This is the entire enchilada. Do I have peanut butter on my finger here? Anyways, Jey Uso will become the tribal chief if Roman Reigns loses this match. So I've heard it proffered out there that they should have Jimmy return and cost Jey the match, and Jimmy rejoins Roman in the bloodline. I just don't know what you do with Jey after that. Maybe long term, Jey just sort of floats around and builds himself back up and then helps Cody win at WrestleMania. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. What they should do is have Jey totally fucking win this, and then Roman Reigns gets a title at Payback. I understand the philosophy of, oh no, you got to have the guy who's going to be the next guy, aka Cody Rhodes, beat Roman Reigns. I get that, but also, like, I'll make this analogy. Back when Hulk Hogan was champion, back in 1980, whatever, he lost the title like not a couple times, but he lost the title to what? Andre. And then Andre gave it to the $1 Million Man, who lost it to Randy Savage, and then they did the Mega Powers thing, and he got it back. But it's not like Andre or Randy were like the guys that WWE wanted to be the next guy. The next passing of the torch moment wasn't until the Ultimate Warrior, but Hulk Hogan had lost the title. So I think you could do that story. I think you shouldn't treat the title so damn precious. Give the title to Jey for like a month, and then Roman gets it back at Payback. And at that point, Jey's lost everything, but Jey's got to build it back up. And I don't know what story you tell. They've been doing a hell of a good job with the bloodline, though. It's been some really great storytelling. I don't think Jey is going to win. Not for a second. Roman is going to win this match. Jey had his pin there at Money in the Bank. I think Roman totally wins this match. I just think it'd be really cool if Jey won because nobody's expecting it. That's what they should do. I don't think they're going to do it. The only question is, how's Roman going to win? Is Jimmy going to get involved? I don't know. Are the elders going to come down from on high with their walkers and show up and do some finger wagging, and that's going to distract Jey? I don't know. What if Jey just lied this whole time about the elders saying it's tribal combat? Did Roman clear this? Did Roman actually call them and be like, hey, what's going on? Is this tribal combat? I don't know.